Hello, this is part 2, making color swatches for color theory class. I'm in the process of cutting out swatches. I flattened all my pages under heavy books overnight, so they're nice and flat. And now I'm cutting out 2-inch squares. Any scraps that you have left over, save them for future assignments. Then I'm doing 2. I have room. I made big areas of paint, so I have room to get 2 squares out of every color just about. I'll show you how I do it. I'm lining up my ruler. You need the ruler, cutter, and a pencil. With the cutter, you're going to need multiple blades because you need to change your blade often. You don't want to cut the paper and have it tear because your blade's too dull. That would be annoying, right? So I'm starting with pencil and then the cutter. It seems redundant. You have to go over it twice, but it's best to do it this way. So you can make sure to get your measuring correct. So I start just by drawing a line. I can do another line 2 inches over. I'm aligning with this side of the paper. And also I can align with the pencil line that I just drew. As far as alignment goes, you can also look for right angles. So right here I have a right angle. Down here I have a right angle, so I know that it is aligned correctly. It's 2 inches over from this line, drawing a line. Okay. And now I'm within the paint area here, so I'm good on this side and this side as far as getting paint within my square. So then I'm coming up to the bottom of my paint area, and I'm going to draw a line going the other direction, aligning with this side or down here on my paper. All right, wherever my ruler is at, I can measure 2 inches from there. If I'm at 1, I can go to 3. If I'm at 2, I can go to 4. If I'm at 2.5, I can go to 4.5, etc., etc. There's my line, and we need to go 2 inches up from there, aligning with one of the lines you drew before. So 2 inches, I'm gonna go a 1/2 inch up if I can. Let me see how much room I have. I'll do this 2 inches one first. Okay, aligning with the side of the paper up here and there. Also looking at my right angles. Okay, there's one 2-inch square, and then I'm going to do it. I'm going to see if I have 2 inches or where I have 2 inches. So yeah, okay, I'm going to make a little mark right there for the next line, just to make sure. I wanted to make sure I had paint in my square, and I don't want white parts showing in my square, my swatch. Okay, going 2 inches up. So this is the process. I'm going to only show you once, and then I'm going to speed up this video until I get to the part where I'm going through the swatches and seeing what I can use for the assignments. Okay, now for the cutting. So you're lining up with the lines that you drew. You want to be aware of the surface that you're on. You don't want to damage your table. Also, you don't want to wear out your blade too quickly. If you have a cutting mat, that's great. You can also use scissors, but this is better. More controllable, more precise than scissors. That's why it's called X-Acto. Scissors are okay. But this is better, but you do want to have a cutting mat or something underneath. You can use cardboard. You'll just be wearing through your blades more often. with the cardboard because there's more resistance than the cutting mat. So you're lining up your ruler to the edges if you're using a ruler. I mean, if you're using the X-Acto knife, you do want to use a ruler, but when you do the scissors, you'll just be cutting along the lines that you draw. So I'm lining up, and I'll go to the other end, lining up with the line that I drew previously. And now I'm going to rotate the paper and do the other lines the other direction. Okay, and I'll keep going and fast forward until I get to the part where I'm organizing my swatches. All right, now that I have pieces cut out for my muted color studies, I'll start with muted color studies. I'm looking for narrow and broad value ranges too, but I'm trying to get for each one, for narrow and for broad, 3 secondaries and 3 primaries. I got muted blue, another muted blue, muted yellows, muted greens, muted violets, very dark violet, some of these could be considered chromatic grays too, but we're going for muted mainly. Muted red. Okay, so let's see what we got. We got very dark violet, bright muted yellow. This could probably be my broad since I have a very light and a very dark. And then I'm going for a very dark green. And then I have a muted green on the right side, muted blue, or pretty much a chromatic gray of blue, muted violet. I want a muted violet. That's my muted violet over there. And I'll use a darker yellow on this side because this is my narrow on the right side. And still want orange, and there's muted orange here, and muted red, and I can use the same red over here. All right, so this is broad because it has a very dark and a very light, and then this is more narrow. And then I want to check with the value scale. You can print one, you can find one and print one out if you want to check. I do use this when I'm grading just to check as far as how narrow you are. You want to be within 3 of these. This is a 10 value scale. You want to be within 3 sections, so 3% of the 10 percentage groupings. This is definitely broad. But as far as the narrow, if it's within 3, I'm just checking. This is how I do it. I just see what's closest in terms of value. And if I think I have it, then I'll check the darker. And nope, that's too dark compared to that. And the light, that's too light. So this is like value 2 on mine, or it would be 90% on a different scale that has a different kind of labeling. So that's value 2. And this is value 3. 2 and 3 are close together. This is value 4. So 2, 3, 4. And another 3. And I think this is a 2. And this is like either a 2 or 3, maybe a 2. All right, so I'm within this range, so that's narrow enough. So there's my broad, and that's my narrow as far as the muted color studies go. And I'll make another video just for chromatic.